Okay, I think I have things looking pretty decent here. What was bothering me is when I zoomed out to 100%, I found that I was having a hard time reading some of the text, and I wondered if that was just my bad eyesight. I have terrible eyesight, or I wondered if the text was actually too small. So, what I decided to do is I just cranked up the size of some of my pieces of text just a little bit. I think I brought up my main menu just 1 point. I brought up the size of the paragraph in the middle here 1 or 2 points. Same with the content that we added into the footer. I changed my button background color there as well. I changed that to the mid blue. I found that it was just getting lost on the wood background. I put a white stroke on it as well, made it a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit more legible. Maybe it should be a little bit bigger, but hey, we're gonna move on because we got to do some Flash here too. So anyway, hopefully you have things looking half decent here. What I now want to do is I now want to create 2 copies of this fella here, one for in the middle, one for over towards the right. And I went and shut my guides off, turn my guides back on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all the bits and pieces that we created here, the white arrow, the purchase, and the button, and the paragraph, grab all that stuff, and I'm going to group it, Command G or Control G, and I'm going to copy them out twice by holding down the Option key here on the Mac or Alt on the PC side. But before I let go, I'm going to hold down Shift, and again, that's going to lock or constrain my movements, right? And then once you get one copy, try using that Command or Control D trick that I showed you earlier. And we wind up with something like this. That looks pretty good. Now, if you wanted to line this up absolutely precisely, there's a bunch of different ways to do this in terms of, I shouldn't say aligning this precisely, I mean spacing it apart, making sure that there's an equal amount of space. But what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to eyeball this amount of space that I have here over on the right-hand side here. So maybe about in there somewhere, something like that. You can take your time on this, but I'm just going to zip through this here. And then I'm going to grab all 3 groups, and using my Align panel, the distribute spacing vertically, or horizontally, sorry, something like that, just to make sure everything's nice and spaced apart. There we go. I think we're looking good. You might want to change, we wouldn't have purchase, purchase, purchase. It's actually purchase, refinance, and renew. So let's go and change that really quick here. I just flipped over to my type tool there, by the way. Refinance, and we'll do renew. There we go. Now, of course, in the real world, the other thing that would change is this paragraph of text underneath refinance and renew. I'll leave that up to you as well. If you want to change that, fine. I think just because this is more of a training exercise, I'm going to leave these guys as they are. Maybe the client hasn't sent us the text they want to use just yet, so we'll leave well enough alone there. But I think our layout is complete. Can you believe it? I think we made it. You got introduced to symbols there. I'm going to close out of my symbols palette, close off my guides. There we go. I think it looks great. I think it looks awesome. And yeah, you got the symbols in there, which is huge. You're going to see how that plays out in just a few minutes, how that plays out when we pull this layout over into Flash. We're going to do that. And hopefully I gave you lots and lots to go on in terms of using Illustrator as a layout tool for your Flash interfaces.